Okay. So, Space Invaders, the original. And that's...
This is the hardware package that made Space Invaders work. You can
That's
see the
Space
old,
Invaders right
You can
there,
see
yeah.
the old chipset for distribution, and then
The integrated circuits are everywhere. You got the capacitors and the... Yeah, old integrated circuits. Wouldn't you have to get all these recapped? If you wanted
some
to
of these. So some of these are fine. Probably some of
There's a dip
the
switch. Wow.
Yeah, for programming. So remember the code on the card inside for determining whether you have 3 bases, 4 bases, or 5 bases. This is right here for the dip switch.
I'm gonna show them that. It's that in there. That thing right there. Yeah. Right. It's in there.
And so you remember, and even when this was made, you can see it. Patent pending. It'd be like patent pending when this was made.
That's awesome, dude. Wow. That was all probably handmade, all hand fitted.
Oh, yeah. Midway Manufacturing Company, Franklin Park, Illinois.
That was actually near where I used to live when I was a kid. I lived in Glen Ellen, Illinois.
Where is it? Used to say.
Where's Franklin Park? Maybe it wasn't.
It says it will say Midway on here, and then there it is. And here is, right here, it says Midway, 1978, Space Invaders, underneath these transistors.
Right.
These resistors.
Where's the central processor in here? Is it?
It's all the whole thing.
The whole thing is basically a central processor.
There's no central processor.
It is basically.
It is the game. It was hardwired for resistors and programmed using. This was before microprocessors, and so all these processors.
They're just integrated circuits. It's all they are.
Yeah, that's it. Do the game. Integrated circuit to do the game. And the graphics processing was not enough to handle a full screen of invaders. So when you destroyed an invader,
it would go quicker and quicker.
Because it didn't have to render as many, and so it would speed up.
Right.
The processing would speed up when you destroyed an invader, and the hardware had less limitations. So didn't have to process as much.
So the game started out with. Slow because there were so many Space Invaders coming at you,
and the hardware could not handle it. And then you would,
but as soon as you got rid of the more invaders, it could handle more processing.
It could handle more processing. Because it didn't have to render it in the hardware, because the hardware, and then less strain on the hardware, and then the game would speed up, and that's where the difficulty level in Space Invaders came from.
Gotcha.
From hardware limitations.
So it wasn't actual programming. It was just an actual hardware limitation. The limitations were lifted.
First games.
Gotcha.
First games invented after tubes.
What is this thing here? 50K. What is
that? I don't know. I mean, they had different settings here. Back in the day, I can imagine programming these. So here's the dip switch for. But the trademark is in the hardware. So I kept this.
Don't ever throw that away.
No. I kept this, and because I modernized the internal workings of make it Space Invaders. I can put Space Invaders as a reference, but the rest of it will be a modern computer inside. But this is the actual. This is the actual game itself.
Right.
Compared to like nowadays, one of these things, a modern one would handle
the entire show.
Do the whole show, the whole thing,
easily.
Just
like a little pocket calculator could do the whole show.
Yeah. But yeah, Space in 1979.
Oh. The build quality of that's really cool, actually. Just looking at it, it's really neat.
Patent pending. It wasn't even patented when this. Illinois. Made in the United States.
That's cool, man. That's cool as shit. Thank you for sharing, man. That's pretty cool.
It's one of the,
There's no heat sink on it because that's how there's really no need for it because like the processing really wasn't all that complicated.
no, it wasn't. Well, I mean, like we look at it nowadays and we're like, yeah, it wasn't. It's not that complicated to do it.
Right. Yeah.
But they had the program with hardware.
Right. With these integrated circuits, like where
Yeah.
you put it, what's the signal flow going to be, and what's the
what happens if you destroy a Space Invader? What your input re-symbols it down to,
right?
and then over and over again.
That's pretty cool, man.
Some of these are advanced,
But it worked when you.
oh yeah. There's nothing.
There's really, I
wrong
mean,
with
it's so simple. I mean,
This
how
one-
could it not
well,
work?
this one looks like it is broken to the point where it would need to be resoldered and replaced.
Well, that's a capacitor, right?
Yeah.
All these little things sticking out are capacitors. That's,
Yeah. So,
But you can
I mean,
recap all that.
Oh yeah. You'd have touch it up and it'd be working just as fine.
Yeah, that's cool. That's crazy, man. Even the integrated circuits, when you have to replace some of them. Well, you said it works when you